richness and variety of the whole thing. There are Oreos. And they're about this ramping up and over the facade. And then there's another set of ramps that are graham crackers. That are your typical ramps.
Wait, is this the street side or the alley side?
So these are the two streets right here. These are the two facades. And to make the facades really, right, because we couldn't touch them. To make them really
Gingerbread you can.
to make them really known, I put ramps everywhere in the house. Right? You can't touch them, so they're all ramps. And so they go up and over on both sides for the gumdrops and the Oreos. And then there's this really fun drawbridge ramp with the licorice that you go across. And it's really about this variety of ramps and richness of space, dark and light.
I think this is just terrific. I think this is one of the best urban responses.
So
It's so
I have a suggestion that might even make it better. Have you considered ramps to the heaven?
Oh, yes. That was actually a thought that we considered, and it was ramps that don't end. Because why should they end? It should be ramps out of the building, and then just don't stop.
Strong.
Right?
Potential.
I see the commitment.
I especially like that you go up the ramp and then you go underneath the ramp, below, hanging down.
There's no place you don't go up the ramp.
There's no place you
Climb
don't
up
go.
there, and then in here, I think it looks to me like skateboarder's heaven.
Right?
I have a question. Are you going to air curtain the roof? So
Oh,
that
of course.
it's permanently
There
insulated?
isn't a roof, but like
Okay.
Jean Nouvel taught us, you can air curtain anything. And this whole thing will just be air curtain. That's why there's a roof there.
I actually think the roof will harm the concept. I think the concept.
Exactly, that's why there's an air curtain, to really make the roof non-existent and make it feel like when
What
you're
if
on
the
the
roof
ramp,
is just weaved
anything
ramps?
is possible.
A ramp weave could become the roof.
Actually, we had yesterday a project. What's missing is the roof is a cloud.
Oh.
So then you really get
The
the
blur
heaven.
roof.
The blur, exactly.
I was wondering if the white represents snow, so it's more atmospheric, along with the clouds, and I know that.
Exactly, yeah.
So you probably needed an addition of
Cotton candy.
cotton candy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. They would make everything.
All I could think was funny.
If all these
Yeah.
ramps and all this ramping and all this experience terminated in the cloud, what is
Yeah.
not.
And then like Lisa said, if that ramp went right up into the cloud.
And then you
it
lost it.
disappeared.
You didn't know if you're stepping on ramp or you're stepping on cotton candy. That would be it right
And
there.
half the people
you didn't
just fall off
You didn't know.
It just ends and you walk up.
Oh, I don't think Andre likes that.
Oh, he's pretty angry.
Andre, what do you think?
Okay, so I think we have a second.
Well, I have to say though too that I think the color contrast, the materiality is really quite nice. This kind of soft ramps and hard ramps and
You got it.
nice.
Exactly.
Man, this is way better than all I
Mine was an innovator space mixed with a public plaza. And what I tried to do was contrast the more traditional candy with the newer candy. So the new was highlighted against the backdrop of the old. And the green gummy bears are the public, and the red gummy bears are the office people. And so everywhere the red gummy bears are, that's where the office can go, and everywhere the green gummy bears are, that's where the public go. And you can see where they begin to intermix. And yeah, over here there's some, and then this
one
person's
got
up
out.
here, and then there's some over here. This one guy got cut in half because he's entering the building. And then over here they have a snowball fight because their hands are covered in frosting. And then there's connections from this side where all of these pieces of technology weave their way through the building. making this clear connection through all the spaces.
And clearly the technology is the licorice rope, right?
Yeah,
Right.
well, the technology is the gummy. Gummy is the new
The ribbon.
technology.
So,
And the
so
old technology is
in a
stored.
way, the bears are the technology.
Well, it's actually
People,
see because they're
society.
full. Well, that's why I highlighted the circulation in the building because I wanted the idea to be the driving force of the technology. So these gummy bears are just full of ideas, and that's really what the technology
And what happens here with all the
is.
bits
This
of-
is
a ball
where
pit.
all the ideas come and get created into
Ball
something.
pit.
So this is the prototyping wing in this.
What are the events?
Well, this is the prototypes. This is
Oh.
where all the ideas either come and they either fail or
Idea
succeed.
bubble.
The idea.
Either succeed or fail over in this side. So you have gumdrops where they've really succeeded, and M&Ms where they're sort of new but
Yes.
sort of old.
Yes.
Physicalized is a better
People
word
order
for
about
it.
columns.
These
For-
are actually vertical circulation in the building.
Here's all the scenes, a little bit better.
Where
I thought you could come up with a
come
better
up
term
through the
than
building.
immature. Thought I was an idiot.
I think I'm a little bit disappointed that there's not more.
You say that as a joke, but it kind of hurts. Kind of hurts.
I'm getting
Right?
I'm getting ripped up for
Kind of hurts.
gingerbread review.
She hasn't even had me.
I know, she knows. She
She
knows.
understands.
Kind of hurts.
Wow.
Yes. Kind of disappointed that you didn't.
I'm gonna go back upstairs.
Wait, you need to.
We're gonna do
Someone
a diagram
needs
with M&Ms.
to channel their Anjay and just give it a moment and go. I'm a little disappointed.
Sharon does a little of that too.
This is what they were trying to avoid.
Just probably the way you are thinking.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Sharon.
You're disappointed in.
Good.
Let's really stick Ted with this. What are you disappointed in?
I will stand here and take it.
So I'm trying to understand really the distinction between the two sides. You know, the kind of innovative side and the office side. And they seem a lot similar. But in particular, I'm curious about why you killed that wall.
Let me explain to you. There's an intimacy of space over on this side, and this is much more given over to the whole.
That is
So-
shown by the Snickers bar.
That is
on
true.
side,
That,
right?
that historic wall, that's that hard break between and that materiality of the patina of built up time.
I've built up Snickers.
And so this particular space, I actually did talk about the materiality of Snickers today.
No, you're saying exactly what you said, and she's saying exactly what she said. I know. But that's why you need to say Snickers. Because otherwise it gets a little too serious.
Yeah. Well, the materiality of the Snickers really lets the two spaces have a different level of intimacy and that break between them. Oh.
You don't mean to joke. It gets serious really quickly, so be careful.
My fellow reviewers, please. Bail me out.
This is hard.
Andre doesn't think it's very hard.
He's pretty upset.
He's cool, calm, and collected.
Ted, this project has greater potential.
I expected.
This is what I had hoped.
I need to see by Monday that you have resolved this difference of the Snickers and the graham cracker.
Right.
Scary, they don't know how we
The Rice Krispie treat feels uncommitted. You really mean what you say. That should be a snickerdoodle.
I think the Cascade facade needs some refinement.
You can't touch it. It's got to be like.
But it needs to be refined. It needs to be refined. Ramps, whatever it is, it needs to be refined.
Well, with yours, Chris, they get this intimate appreciation for it when they're walking along. They can touch the
Exactly. And there's this
Spend some
sense
time
of
with it.
up and new and wood.
Up and new and wood. That should be in your portfolio. Just those two words. Up, new, wood.
Molly?
Are you good?
We haven't talked about that.
It's new.
Is
And it's ramps.
Just
I
shoot
do
it.
like,
I
I
don't
do
see
like
any of
the
the wood.
expression, the vertical.
You don't need to see the blue, 'cause you can
Yeah,
feel
the
the
circulation, just
Yeah.
puncturing.
Yeah.
This is all
I
wood.
think that and the expression of the impact.
Hunter, I used to
Yeah.
rent Friday night.
The lights and the newness
Rent
around
every 2 hours when my girlfriend woke me up.
Okay, so my original concept was kind of a contemporary office building and working on urban issues, dealing with urban experiments. But I realized that that program was just kind of a front for the real program, which is a Christmas tree farm
That hides a SNASA.
and a space station. So
Does it refer to his project?
No.
kind of. So the office space, which was my original program, is just the front for the real program, which is the Christmas tree farm, and space launch, which is very urban. But the idea
It just is very urban. Don't question it. Don't you dare question it. It just is.
the street. I really wanted to utilize the alley this time a little bit more.
That's a question.
You actually
So I really
did.
opened up the alley side and literally brought the street up through via like kind of like
This is so
like zip
cathartic.
lines that come up through the space to the tree farm. And then the new insert just kind of slides in to the old. It's very kind of, you can slide past it.
What is it? Do that movement again. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Slides.
And so the idea is that, people are thinking that it's this great office space, Christmas tree farm, but really NASA and the government are kind of taking over the space. So this is the space shuttle, and there's a little gummy bear tied on.
That may be the
Because he
single,
knows.
There's
That might be the
also
single
egress
biggest review
because we don't want to
statement of all
forget about
time.
life safety issues. So there's egress here just in case things go poorly.
So where is it?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
sleeping.
Exactly.
Where's
No, exactly. Elliot.
Elliot,
told me it was coming.
because I'm thinking
No
that
show.
Elliot, I mean, he had the courage to really dig into the ground under this building. And I think in a way that, I mean, it's fine as far as it goes.
Yeah, right? Because that means nothing when you say that. It's fine as far as it goes, but these whole set of ideas that aren't what you had are so much better.
Building a space shuttle.
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
the original
but
idea.
this whole thing should have been underground. If you wanted to be secret, why is it above ground?
NASA would never have an urban tower.
You're gonna push through. Shannon, push through.
They'd have an
Okay,
urban silo.
Push through.
So, but I really admire the response because I think that,
I'm listening. I'm very serious. I'm being very serious. Stone cold right here. All right.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Okay, so I really admire the response, to maintain the Cass Gilbert facade and this kind of role in the community, to bring a little fun into it with the Christmas tree farm.
Too serious. Too serious.
I think that's really wonderful. But I think when it comes to kind of sliding in sabotage
shuttle.
and space shuttle.
Sabotage. More importantly than space shuttle. Sabotage.
That's
That is more important. Key words.
Chris is like,
And I think
Chris is like the moderator of
it needs
this.
to be. It needs to be.
It's too serious too quickly.
See?
Okay.
You have to contain the force.
I guess, the idea though is that since it's secret, it needs to be able to disappear at any moment.
But that's
In
why
with
I
the
think-
trees.
But that's why I think you need
In
to
the
dig into
trees.
earth.
The trees need to be
Because,
more,
I mean,
right?
when this thing takes off, there's a fair
Yeah.
amount of lateral force.
Right.
And,
That's
we've
true.
been studying the structures, right?
I was going to use pretzels. I was going to use pretzels.
No, those facades are dwindle. With this force, will equilibrize them. And they will stand back up with the force of the rocket launch. Equilibrize.
I think historic preservation means they are actually indestructible.
Yeah, that is what it means.
That the forces of nature defy you to
Yeah.
do anything to them.
I
withstand anything.
especially like the snowman as a rocket.
Secret rocket.
As a
Secret rocket.
That's why he looks like a
NASA.
snowman.
Secret
the
NASA.
secret rocket.
Secret.
Snowman going up into outer
Yeah.
space.
I think it's a really clever strategy to introduce green or even fake green.
Fake green.
As if it's urban intervention, but it really hides the identity.
Great.
I
I agree.
That's
very jolly.
I'm very clever. Thank you. I love you for that.
We always wanted.
It was something like that, and you also like.
Let's improve this last time.
So this model is projecting.
And then when we're done, we have to all eat our mouths.
Oh gosh. No way.
Sarah was here forever.
Sarah, before you start, I'd like to know where's the original.
She's a nothing is original.
Somebody should ask Sarah about
Nothing.
lateral forces.
So I want to know why this isn't standing.
Where's the equilibrize?
Hey, yes, where is it? Where's the equilibrize?
It's gonna be the new grade term. So when Chris is presenting his thesis project,
Yes.
Oh
I
my
want
God.
to be there and remind me to say equal.
Yeah.
What-
Did you
You can't even say it wrong. You can't even say it wrong.
Can you bring El Ponte with you when you do that?
I want to know where the equilibrized forces go.
Hey, it's Sarah's time. Sarah's time.
Yeah, but you spoke so
This model is
fantastically that no one will
projecting
ever forget
an
it.
intervention on the building, perhaps in 50 years from now. So that soft joint of the building was really not considered. And so you can see the damage that was caused to the bricks as there was settlement occurring in that structure responding to that. And forces colliding. So it is a pull-apart model.
Pull the other piece. Pull the other piece.
There's more. There's more.
There's more!
That's the new one.
What is the significance of that wall?
So it's special.
That wall is marked as special?
The wall is marked as special, and it's old, and you move around it.
In and out
The
of
marked
In
is
and out.
special, and somebody went up and marked that this is special.
And so you can see that it's been whitewashed. So though it's old, the old character is not what's important here. It's the heaviness and the thickness of the wall that you feel as you move around and
I
through
think
it.
if we've learned
you know?
anything in the studio, it's just to make things look good.
All about intention.
Yeah.
Intention is very
Intention's
clear
only.
here.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
And nothing else is good.
Another major theme that I've been studying this semester is urban shock.
I'm pretty sure they were shocked.
You can see
his house.
So you can see that the energy of the youth center is beginning within the basement and extending onto the roof.
Collapsing
Talk
it.
about the basketball game
Yeah.
going on.
Talk about the basketball courts.
Oh, this is just carnage now.
Her models take apart.
Apart. Look at the lines of the corner, even rendered.
And see what the reviewers have to
So I'm
say.
not lost. Could
Yeah.
you please explain to me how security?
There's very separate security between the office space and the youth space.
It just
In
is
order-
there.
It's there.
It's
And
there.
there's
So
the
it's
second eagle.
Right.
Utilize there.
If there's a slide or something.
So
There's something there.
It's a slide.
So before the soft joints caused a collision, you can see that there, the red is the circulation, and the experiential circulation, and so it moves from the alley into the basement and through the basement, and you can see a basketball game happening, 3-on-3.
Very important that it's 3 and not 4.
Yes. The court's not big enough for that measures.
Could you also
Damages
walk
part.
us through the lower
But it's
level?
so clear, Lisa. So
Just walk through and like give us an example.
you enter on the
Okay.
alley space,
Okay.
and then you
Yeah.
skateboard down
Oh.
into the basement, And you can also potentially skateboard up onto the roof.
Wow. I am shocked. I am so shocked.
It's a pretty amazing space.
Would you mind? I would like to see it put back together.
So that's fine.
Go ahead.
The tectonic character, tectonic plates character is
Feel the earth,
amazing.
right?
You see it sort of shifting, moving in there, and then they slide against each other.
Oh, it's not this though, it's more like,
Yeah.
more like this.
Come down.
You can really feel that phenomenological character.
I dropped it. Oh shit.
But could you also talk about the time of this? I mean, because is this something that you imagine will happen slowly, or it'll happen catastrophically?
I think that's a really important point. And even though you say old is not important, I mean, it's really the significance of this project is to use the history to project the future.
Project what will happen.
We should really consider linking this notion of urban shock to the future shock that happened in 1970.
When the roof collapses 40 years from now.
Consider that question in 2050.
Yes. I like this. I'll go back upstairs and work on that.
I think it's a strong concept. I think there's some kind of unanswered question. I think it's a good trajectory.
This is better than my final
Did you by any chance play with any homicide blocks when you were Zoomthor style?
project.
Well, you kind of.
Wait, I have a better idea. Can I? Please. I think this should start.
Much better.
I get it.
Oh, finally some clarity, Sarah.
I think Katie's up next.
I think that actually started out a program.
These things can just come together.
They come together when you let them fall apart.
We've answered the 50 years.
How much of a mess it can be.
Can I ask if they knew what they were getting into?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, did you know that this is what you were getting into today?
I so suspect
Is it everything you hoped it could be?
more.
More than you could
I guess
ever
you could.
imagine.
I guess you could crit with Alfonje.
I'm a little intimidated though.
Right?
I know.
We were intimidated all day by him standing over us.
Turning around, he's there. Stare.
It was not productive.
Productive. So I
had the last
designed.
time I came.
I designed here Santa's Christmas workshop.
From
From the outside. From
So
the
Katie, I have a
outside.
question. Why are you British?
Why are you British right
Because
now?
the British kids need toys too.
What?
Continue on.
From the outside, it is a historic facade disguising the Christmas workshop on the inside, bringing fabrication to the center of Minneapolis where the toys are consumed. You can see it's disguised so the muggles are not distracted. Muggles. And on the inside is where the Christmas magic happens. There's no need for structure as Christmas spirit holds up the walls.
So I feel like you're presenting this dichotomy
Are you a
between,
critic over here?
between students and muggles.
We like to have students participate.
There are two L's. One for the education of the elves and one for the production of the elves.
They produce elves.
Can I ask
There are no
what type of
Listen,
spaces
elves
are
die,
for
you gotta get
production
your
of
elves.
elves?
Come on. You know
the
why-
toy
I don't
workshop.
know. You know why they produce
There
elves?
are no
The British
walls
kids
as
use
to
toys.
allow the optimum views between all the spaces. The walls are not needed as Christmas spirit holds up the floors.
We're back to that.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to make a comment that Sharon said to me one time. Well, if every everything is open and it's all just glass or transparent, then why
Yes.
even have a building?
Shelters the elves from the muggles.
What did you forget against the locals already?
Sorry, I forgot.
These guys heard it yesterday, Kathleen got it.
Really?
Really? Same thing.
There are no need for walls.
I mean, it's a
as
good
to
one.
allow views and sightlines everywhere.
I really like the vertical expression on
Yes.
the interior.
It's a
against
lateral
the-
support, the Christmas spirit holding up the facade.
You need lateral support for Christmas.
What I really don't understand is, I really don't get the vertical circulation.
Yes, it's because you're a muggle. You don't understand the Christmas magic.
I mean, it just hopefully read here. Really
What just happened?
What's
I'm not even remotely certain.
Have you seen Harry Potter? In Harry Potter, the muggles are the people who do not know the magic. Who do not know how to do the regular people.
I don't feel like I'm
You don't
just buying
understand
this.
the magic.
I'm just pretty upset.
I'm just not buying it.
Oh, Gunther, okay.
I see all the elves.
Yes.
Where are the reindeer?
They-
Rudolph.
At the North
They're over
No,
here.
why are they always here?
There's one
Are they-
remaining.
And they're right
This is only the
here.
Minneapolis branch of Santa's
This is the
Workshop.
Minneapolis branch of Santa's workshop.
Which oddly enough, I keep using his toys for English.
Anna's dying.
Well, the British kids use toys too.
Is that the launching strip?
For the sleigh.
Multi-purpose.
The sleigh? that
Exactly.
It goes around here?
Exactly.
And takes off?
Exactly, yes. It's all the magic swirls around. That's what all the
That
twizzlers are.
That's so exquisite.
Thank you.
Is the diagram
I do
clear?
have a criticism though.
Oh, yes.
I think for this really to work, that the inside needs to be bigger than the outside.
Oh!
It's
That's
true.
it! Gauntlet thrown down!
Zing! Thank you.
What is that voice?
Thank
The
you.
best part, Katie, is you have that on video, so you can watch that later.
Oh, cuz up. Yeah, I'll be a little bit more quiet. Some of our
That's a
viewers
soft voice.
can't really.
Okay. It's a contemporary library. Very important to make open space, to make it more public than private. So, and make voice space in the center to make more open. And the circulation is it's more than circulation. It's more about gathering space. It's occupied by the bookstars stacks there.
Oh no!
That's
no,
meant
but
to
I like
happen,
it.
right?
I like it.
Now it brings it up.
This is a lot better.
Yeah, I think
it's about openness.
Exactly, yeah. No, I mean, this really frees it up. I think you were keeping too, I think you
Yeah, I
were
think-
retaining too much of the old building.
I would do this too.
Clear it out. All book sacks.
No, I'm sorry, but I really do think that, you know, I love that the inside has been removed and that this is all about creating a new world inside. But I think you need to have a little bit of kind of entree to that on the outside, just to give a hint of what you're going to see when you come
Maybe
inside.
just not go over one wall? Two? One wall?
well-
2 walls?
Sharon might need a napkin. Your hands dirty.
I think Lisa does too. That or I start eating it.
Oh, God, so bathroom.
I don't know, do you think it's retaining enough of the original?
No, I think it's not open enough. I think we need
More open. More open.
More open.
Just keep the shell.
And
for it to be
I mean-
more popular.
Especially that ramp is gorgeous that goes up here.
Yeah,
But
No, I can go next if you want.
I think that column is really in the wrong place.
Maybe it'd be best if the shell fell in a little.
Yeah.
It allowed it an opening in as well as out.
No, I think that gets to be a little bit trite.
Try it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
I can
been
understand
done
Well, we
before.
can be.
Hey, right? Just
Yeah.
knock the walls, start a little.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
But I think by taking everything out, you start to put things back in selectively.
That's
It opens
what-
Think
opportunity.
about life safety issues.
Molly raises a valid point.
Well, the equilibralized is difficult,
Yeah.
but we'll find a way of
We'll find
getting
it.
it.
I hope that's not the only thing that comes out of this evening. Because that would be a problem. Can't do that.
Can't do it more than you did.
The only thing that's going to be remembered.
I think the basic concept, though, is really elegant. this kind of pure.
You're really good at this.
A little too.
You just gotta say vague conceptual things.
Yeah.
Vague conceptual things, and it works for.
She's been
gingerbread
waiting for her
novels.
whole critique, her whole career for a critique like this.
All of anyone was alive.
It was taped.
She was just phoning it in.
Phoning it in.
No,
Oh,
I
good
think
God,
the
everybody.
one thing that I think is really nice about the whole thing, though, is that, you know, introducing a really kind of iconic element into the facade.
Like a chocolate covered pretzel.
It's like a marquee. A marquee.
Marquee? Like what Jesse did last year?
Yeah.
Marquee.
Yeah. Very nice.
Who's that?
Very good.
Well done.
Sam up next.
Now, how do you explain this back home?
We're doing a video.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, you're falling
Oh
apart.
no. Oh.
The factory.
What about the elephant?
Collateral support.
Sam, make sure you talk about the ostrich.
The elephant.
Yes, the
Mix.
Oslo piece. That's
No,
not all my
excuse
credit.
me, though. I mean,
So-
we were really hoping this year by integrating structures with studio that
It
you
failed,
would
I
have
know.
much stronger kind of concept.
The problem is we didn't really cover soft joints very
It fell
much.
apart on me.
And that's crucial to this.
The mortar didn't have time to set, it was still green.
No, we didn't have enough time to
Yeah.
test the pretzels for stability,
Yeah.
so we just had to use
And-
them without
and
knowing.
Yeah.
The studio companion, nothing on pretzels.
Nothing.
Freaking worthless book.
I will say though, the ostrich held up.
The
an
slump test
elephant.
of our frosting
Okay, we
didn't
need to-
work,
yeah,
so
we need to
So,
hear
so
about
this
it.
is the first project I've seen non-edible materials. What's the rule?
I came late to the, I did not get the rules
Well, I
exactly.
know
so-
actually Mom
I had
had
it.
a non-edible
The
I
material.
mean, it's
spaceship
made
is
of
not
pork, you could
edible.
eat it.
It's kind of
Well,
residue
Define
of
non-edible.
imbibing.
Not intended to be eaten.
Okay, but-
Molly will eat that thing if she
I
has
really
to.
like that your project has so much chocolate.
There's peanut butter too, but it's in a hidden place.
What is the chocolate
Oh,
represent?
you have to
It's
go
very
in the
private.
building.
Yeah, you have to go in the
Private.
building.
And what is that representative of?
What does that
It's very
mean?
it's traditional craft, but people who still make
The traditional craft is the peanut butter?
People who still practice the peanut butter. It was a sentence.
So,
Makes so much
can
sense.
you
Best
explain a little
sentence
bit,
ever.
because I'm curious about.
Are we supposed to go back to
how
talking
I did have a
about
nice
project?
structure on like the open
How we
fixed
go back to
exposed area,
talking
but
about
as you
normal
see, it kind
projects
of came
after this.
apart on the way down
I'll
here.
put this in
But there's a
my
nice
portfolio.
fire on the interior where people are like gather around, there's smoke coming through, as you can see. And
In
then
the
the factory portion, that's the main middle portion, the larger open space, and then kind of just this small little wooded area that's more private.
I especially appreciate the tension between the stereotonic
And
and
tectonic.
tectonic.
Wow.
When I look at the structure, and then especially the chocolate abutment that works its way up on this side of the building. And then how this, in a way, is kind of suspended.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on this, but this seems.
This seems kind of, well,
It was a last minute. I believe, it's keep the production in
Defend
the
it.
center of the building.
Own it. You gotta own your decisions.
I think it's really important though that there's this non-edible thing right in the center. It really owns the project.
It's an iconic piece.
It makes it a factor.
I think
Industrial.
it speaks a kind of deconstructivist sensibility. That requires you to look at some of Gary's old work. Maybe you can push along that line further.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this project going.
Well, what I really like is that the
least till dinner.
smokestacks really relate to the mill city district and
It's
like the
contextual.
mills of the old historic river industry. And
Yeah,
so
you're
I
really
think it's
expanding the connections into the fabric of the
Yeah.
historic city.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're gonna do this thing with the smoke, you know, then I think the structure should be maybe a little bit more
Robust.
robust.
Yeah, it's
More
really-
frosting.
Put more junk on it.
Right. More
Well,
ooh.
I mean, don't you think it could be more expressive? I mean,
I feel like
It just was there, but that wasn't the reason for the collapse.
I'm sorry.
the candy
where
canes
was
feel
it?
It
uncommitted.
was here, but
Sam.
that was the reason for the collapse. It just couldn't hold
I
up.
think
The
that's
whole
much-
timber must
I
have
think
been
that's
rot.
much-
And what
that's much
is
better.
this
Yeah.
piece?
Oh,
That's on loan currently.
from the Molly
It's-
Gallery.
Yeah.
And why is it on the ground, not?
Finally! Finally!
Lisa, would you read that more as an ostrich or
An elephant.
That is key, very important to our entire discussion.
I think it's in between.
No, you got
It's an elephant.
Ostrich or elephant?
It's a species. Maybe
It's
I don't know.
You know, well, I'm not daunted by the structural challenges because, you know, it'd be easy enough to put, you know, like 2 concrete pilings down and, you know,
Really good
get
small
some,
stack.
get some structure.
some
out
like
there to really-
80,000 helical piles.
Pylons?
No
Yeah,
big deal.
Helical
Yeah.
piles, easy, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just drill them down, and then, you know, you could have some nice robust concrete, which really could kind of speak to the making.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a maker's space. You really make the space.
And then
By
it would start
making.
to, then it would start to really integrate.
so almost the tectonics of the way the building's constructed begins to infer the program.
And the making
Right,
could,
exactly.
Right.
And then, yeah.
making of the building could like come out,
Yeah.
be like
Its
expressive.
use
And then-
becomes
And then
inherent in
this
the way it
thing-
was built.
And then this
Right.
thing would
Yeah.
actually find a place.
Yeah, it was this grand gesture. Up
Placemaking.
and out.
Also part of making.
Part,
Placemaking.
yeah, I see it.
And about representation, I would just make more of these.
I want
Just make more.
Sam, that part in particular, it's timid. You don't seem committed to it.
Yeah, just populate the whole thing with this. I think it'll make it.
You need some more.
Goodner needs some more.
Goodner needs
He's
some.
driving though, I'm not.
Yeah.
We can also fill with water, whatever.
One more.
One more.
No, I think I'm seeing really kind of great improvements in this.
Thank you.
A little too serious.
Kind of hurts. Kind of
This
hurts. Like the serious police. I'm sorry, that's a little too far.
Thanks, Dave.
Yes.
Good
work. Yeah.
I'll put this in concrete.
Take a bow.
I do like if it's made out of concrete, you can see the tie holds in the graham cracker.
Exactly. Yeah.
Expressive, very
Yeah.
Ando-like.
It's,
Yeah.
That's right there.
It
Yeah.
would really start to speak to the making. That's what I like about it, yeah.
All you could ask for. Speaking of
Okay.
making.
So, I put a bath space in the building, and
Where?
Mark Swackhammer suggested I put more pools like everywhere. So actually, and I also had issues with my circulation. So on the ground floor, it's just a lazy river, and then from the rooftop, there's just water slides. Because you know, British people need water slides. And then also, my charrette model had this like dock analogy that really needed to come back. So the dock is prominently featured on the roof, and you can jump from the roof to the street pool now. The pool is just flush.
You've integrated the
Oh
alley.
yes, just yep.
All sides.
Wait, is that the alley or is that just the front?
That's a
That's the front of the building.
That's a
Be
big
quiet.
Wait, I'm confused.
And this is a garden wall too.
Oh, where does this water go? Like
To the pool that goes in the sewers.
and then
They don't recycle it and use it.
it comes back into the
Yes,
building.
it's very urban.
I'm still not clear about what is this green part here?
That's the garden wall.
It just is.
Yes,
It is.
it's kind of becoming part of the hot tub below. It's really like you're in a jungle hot tub, actually.
And you can climb up
the
to the
sauna
top.
here.
Out of the hot
And
tub
also,
into the garden wall.
Anjay really liked that I had Hobbit architecture in the beginning of the semester, so I brought back the Hobbit door for the
It's a jungle hot tub.
You climb out of the hot tub onto the jungle.
The good news is when you get out of the hot
I
tub,
mean,
they
I
give you an
really
STD
like
test.
the,
You want a quick
I don't know that I've ever seen
Climb the
something
vibes.
put this much
Swing like
stuff
I'm using every square inch of space for water.
So Anna, where's the hostel?
Oh, well, you live in the pool now.
That's what I was
Lazy river is
wondering.
the
It's
best.
like the water bed.
Well, actually, if you look, the little bears have little tubes on them, and that's your bed.
Right, air mattress is
The sewer.
floating.
Yeah,
so-
oh, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful, right? In
Yeah.
your dreams, you're just floating on the
Well,
water.
but the thing I really like though is the rooftop pool. I mean, that's like, who wouldn't want to be there?
Every semester.
Right?
You still don't have enough pools. You know, all of
What did he
this
say?
could be a pool.
You don't have enough pools.
An outside one, and imagine if you would have a pool outside, people coming by, they would be just mesmerized.
They might accidentally fall in.
Gunther, I respectfully disagree. I think it's the right amount. I like the tension between the content and the container.
Content in the container. Oh my god.
Because we have more water.
The best part is they're starting to have
Really,
fun with it.
that balance that really it's so exquisitely done. So I disagree with that.
It is really a beautiful project though. I mean, I have to say that.
Do the colors
You know,
match
it's-
okay? Or
Well, yeah, it's the kind of place I'd like to send my grandchildren.
There would have been more.
Not the secret NASA station. Oh,
What about to a Snicker wall? Who doesn't want to go to a Snicker wall?
Well, the one thing though is that I am confused about why, leave the alley so disengaged and move to the street instead. Because it feels to me as though this really wants to be kind of opened up to the alley.
I think like another water slide.
What if the lazy
Water
river?
slide out to the
What if the
parking
lazy
lot.
river came out?
Well, that could be really good. Yeah.
Because the alley, you can touch that wall,
Yeah.
so the lazy river could come out, and then people could just accidentally fall in and be brought into the
Well,
building.
there you go.
Yeah.
That could be your
Swept
egress.
in, if you will.
That gets
In fact, that
swept
could
away by the
that could
current of
even
your
be
program.
Your kind of registration for the hostel. That you
Yeah.
get movement from the.
Get brought into the lazy
They
river.
give you
and
they give
register
you their
the hostel.
tube and shove you
Why
in.
not?
Laid back.
Yeah,
And, you know.
it feels like that idea holds the most water.
Holds the most water.
My God, you've been waiting all semester for that. All semester to say hold water.
Yeah, well, that does bring up a point though. How do you hold all that water?
Like you said, Elliot's not here. You have to dig like 50 feet down to
Yeah.
get that good urban.
well, then all we do is it becomes a spring and it springs forth the water. So it's perfect.
Good urban water.
The good, was it like bad urban water at 20 feet? It hangs out with a
30
run crowd.
The first 30 feet or
The first, well, I mean, they get gangs. They just really bad seeds.
That's shocking.
Well, I had a thesis student last year that actually looked at the underground systems and.
You were 30 feet.
Well, I mean, he went down deeper than 30 feet, but what he found was that first 30 feet are really grungy.
Perfect.
Yeah, you really do have to go down almost 100 feet actually to get to the really good stuff.
Actually,
But you'd be surprised at how much urban conditioners still down there.
Down to the aquifer.
serious.
The aquifer is a pool in a cave.
It's back to your grotto! Finally!
It used to be a source of tourism in Minneapolis, to bring people down into the caves, into the
Grottos.
into the caverns and the water.
No, I can't
So-
tell you. Are you serious?
Yeah. No, Sarah just said that.
You can't tell what's happening anymore.
Is she serious? Lisa, just go with it. Just go with the flow of the
He's
water.
gonna repeat these in real reviews.
You just gotta go. Just do what the bears do. Lean back in the inner tube and float.
It'll be great, but your project's crap otherwise.
Lean back in the inner tube and float.
Refer to like, I heard it somewhere. I think that Sharon told me.
Perfect. Feet are full of things
So
that
it's
are
true.
wrong.
So it's true?
Who's next?
Next up! Yeah! Who's up next? Water slides! Yeah! We'll never know!
We'll
We like to keep
know.
it secretive.
Chris just yelled, "We'll never know."
We'll never know.
Was it true or was it not? Do you really know?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Because now we need to talk about this.
Is someone keeping the timing?
Where's
Oh yeah, we'll have plenty of time.
It's very loose. It's a very loose time frame.
Okay, so my project is Christmas Candy Museum. And in this museum, every space is very different. So when people step into this museum, they can feel very different experience in each space. And for each space, there is different kind of Christmas candy in each space. And I remember that Sharon, you asked me during the final review whether they will change the exhibition in this museum. My answer is yes, because after people eat up all the Christmas candies, they will change.
But I still have the same question. If you've got really large candy coming in here.
Oh, this is so cathartic.
So good.
How is this not mandatory in every graduate level course?
I would make this project more ad hoc. So say after, before Christmas, so like Halloween. Halloween has its own set of language.
Its own set of candy.
And Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
And
Good
Thanksgiving, turkeys running all over.
Even 4th of July. Fireworks, you could
Fireworks.
Why not?
Maybe you could
It
turn
is a
President's Day
fireproof
into something.
It is a fireproof building.
Underutilized right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had something really nasty to say, but I'm not going to because you guys are taping, right?
No, say
No, not sound.
Not sound.
No?
Just
I
pictures.
especially appreciate all those mustaches.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I think so, right? Just sound or no sound.
Facade.
Give more festival
Just
atmosphere
as possible.
for the
You
village.
just here. Do it again.
That's Santa.
She was like this.
But I really love it.
Yes, it was a very British wink.
It's so sweet. I
Okay.
can smell it too.
Yeah, and also you can grab some part of the wall and eat them.
Ah.
And the materiality of this, all the way
Oh.
down. If I
Why
look
does
at
it say
this
that? They keep
wall,
pushing it up. It falls.
Yeah,
here,
it's really beautiful.
it's so breathtaking.
Very tactile.
I even
And
like
they were really
some
talking
of
about
the,
smell
I
of
even
it.
like, what you did with this wall, because I think that it really reflects.
Very good. Very good.
Elephants only have 3 legs. I don't know.
How did you make that mistake?
That's brilliant. That really is truly brilliant.
I think to make a Jeff Koons balloon dog into a reindeer is a brilliant. I mean, it makes this project.
But the most brilliant part is that there's a bear waiting for us.
Santa, he's here every
There's a bear.
It's a
It's a bear disguised as Santa.
Santa, wait a minute, Santa's a bear?
Santa's a bear.
Oh my god. So we have polar bears sneaking into our houses? That's not safe.
Can I just like to say one thing though, I wondered from the beginning of this, what it would mean to bring that major space into play in this.
Bring the bear into play. Right? Bring the bear in.
There's bears inside. They're out.
Is she bringing the bear to bear?
The theater space in the old building. Let's be serious now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I really wanted to know about, how that would affect the project, and whether that was worth it or not. Because this is really kind of a sacred space to Andre. But I have to say, though, that, with this addition of the candy cane trusses, it's just opened up all kinds of possibilities.
Candy canes, candy corns.
And syrup. And syrup.
Syrup could happen there.
What I really would like to see
Bears.
more models that led up to this.
Unfortunately, they were eaten in the process. I'm sure those pictures.
We're about the process. We don't want to see just the
All those
product.
bears.
We want to see how you actually got there.
It's a little clean, it's a little, not enough.
That's too personal.
That's too close home. Because that's
Beautiful final product made with a laser cutter. I just.
You should have laser gun.
Molly's like, but seriously.
Why
I
not?
laser cut my graham crackers.
Test the limits.
Wow.
No, I love the kind of underplayed way you handled the entry.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle.
Compression and
It's very-
expansion.
yes.
But crawling kind of compression.
Yeah, you
like a spear.
You almost have to explore and find the entry for yourself.
do, and then the lamp leads you up through this rainforest, and you touch the wall, and then you turn the corner, and you're not in the rainforest anymore. It's production.
It's shock.
It's a production.
Shock. It's urban shock.
Well, that's
urban
urban.
shock.
That's urbanity.
It's urbanity right there.
It's not a shark, it shrinks too. This one is so small.
It shrinks. That one's smaller on the outside than other people's.
I've not seen a project like that.
I have a question. It's 30 seconds scale. I just couldn't imagine it any larger.
And the sustainability into this. This compact box that clearly minimizes any kind of heat loss.
Well, see, I think the opposite. I think the opposite because I think, you're growing the rainforest, but then you're just, destroying it for this production wing that's in it. So you've got these two very contrasting things where you're growing, but then you're...
So urban.
And you're growing this rainforest, but you confine it into a box. Why not really just let it be rainforest?
Well,
Like
with it
let
contained in the container.
let it embrace its essence that is rainforest.
Yeah.
But
And extend
Well, what
to
is
the
the
city.
rainforestness of the rainforest?
I'm pretty sure it's all about its growth. It's otherness.
No, but I agree with Ted, though. I think you really have to look at this because somehow, by having more constraints, you really see something in a more acute light, right? And so I think that.
Do you mean like UV lights? Put UV lights in there?
UV lights. That's the answer.
That's exactly UV light.
LED lights.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I really feel like you let the rainforest envelop the city, and you will have no other option other than really embracing the rainforest because that's the city.
I just had you could have a vertical UV light wall that would be lighting this thing, and it would throw shadows.
It's a little too serious.
Oh, this is great. I like it.
Yes.
Serious, please.
I'd really like to go back to the issue of the reindeer. Spend so much time on. I think we
That is
could
the bear.
give it more time.
What about the bear?
Yeah, how does it relate to the rainforest?
Oh.
Like for the reindeer
You know, it's
vacation.
spelled differently too. Reindeer, rainforest.
How do you
Wow. Let's think about that.
how do you deal with
Let's
those
talk about
two diametrically opposed spellings in your program? How do you deal with that spelling difference? Because they're different. How do you balance them?
Well, it's really kind of too bad we don't have the client here. Because I think, you know,
Yes.
having that
Huge,
bit of reality in the project so that you can really, yeah. You know, because there is the financial feasibility of this.
You know, what is the caloric consequence of this model? That's what I want to
I actually think out of all the ones I've seen, this is probably the most, you know,
Sensitive to
the most sensitive to, you
Yes.
know, a low cal
Caloric.
diet.
But back to Anna's point. What
considerations.
happened if you ate it? How many calories would that be? And is that part of the idea? Does that flow through the concept?
Well,
That's what I really want.
I think it's inherent to it though, because she's talking about rainforest and production. So the inherent caloric qualities of the model itself is easily representing
Even though-
the idea of sustaining.
No, I
muscle.
don't think calorie is the question here. I think it's sugar. Definitely sugar.
Here's the expert of edible architecture.
Yes.
I know.
That's right. She's got this.
Can I just say something though before we get there?
Get to
I
where?
think you have to be really careful about the edible aspect of this when you're talking about candy cane trusses, okay?
I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Structural
Just-
failures.
The point of interest.
You mean people go up and start licking and
Good thing you,
gnawing on it?
you have a pool.
That would cause major.
Well,
What if there was a
it
lazy
would-
river in there too?
Yeah.
What's lazy river then referring
Like
It's essentially a cool river that you sit
Oh,
and
I've got to
enter
take her
to,
to the water
and you
park.
Yes,
go
yes.
into this river.
Yes.
You just sit on
That's
the
it.
And you sit on
and
it
just
to classic
flow
America.
through.
The lazy
You
is
don't
first
move.
because it's the most
And you
important
move.
I
part.
didn't know it. I thought you were
The water.
joking.
Oh no, it's
No,
it's
no.
a
It's a
real
thing.
thing.
You sit there
It
to.
sounds so funny. Lazy.
The lazy is important because it's the first word, and that's all.
Lazy is really important. You don't
No,
move.
that's when you want to go.
Why?
Oh,
Because it's indoors.
Because they heat it
warm,
like
it's
a-
indoors.
You just
Yeah,
sit
80
in
degrees.
water and you move.
Technically, it moves you. You don't move at all.
It moves.
Ideally,
It
they
moves
move.
you
So it's
physically
not,
and
it's not the
emotionally.
river that's lazy, it's the people.
People.
People,
Yeah.
right? People.
But actually, it's a very slow flow. So
And
it's
it's
kind of a
soothing.
lazy river too.
There's a real synopsis between speed of water and speed of you. Neither are going fast.
Are we going to do a wrap up?
Yes, you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
closing comments. Closing comments.
Mhm.
We want to hear from you.
I mean, the studio, you know, as a whole is really interesting. I think that the creativity that I've seen is some of the best that I've ever seen. And, you know, this kind of freedom of expression and a really remarkable way that you integrated the use of materials into your skills. The materiality is really quite wonderful. The one thing, though, that I have to say that I think is a little bit problematical in how you all approach this project is the calories. I really do think that, you know, that there are probably more economical, more sustainable ways to do some of the stuff you've done.
Good
I mean,
luck.
Think about that next year.
Let's see.
It's one of the worst projects I've ever
We've never heard that from you.
Not again.
I think the studio is so well set up, especially introducing chocolate. I just love it. And I think architecture can really use more Christmas spirit to hold up the building.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Andre,
actually know?
Andre, any final comments?
Not
Looks
happy.
That look
Just-
explains it all.
Disappointed. The look says it all.
We're gonna get a lot from him in our one-on-ones after
Well,
this.
I'm a, I'm afraid that Anja's gonna scold me for saying this, but. Sorry.
You actually said that in the review, though.
Yeah.
That's not so different. It's not that different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
I want to say this again, but I'm going to get yelled at by Andre.
Well, no, it really is wonderful to see this kind of work being done, and I think it shows the level of kind of work and commitment. I do
progress.
In like 4 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's only been a week.
4 days.
It's been a week.
Oh, that
Oh,
must
yeah,
have
I
been
guess Wednesday.
6
When's the
days.
last review?
1 week since last review.
I can only add so many pools in that amount of time.
Well, but then I have to agree with with Gunter that I think showing more of your iterations up to this point, so we can see a little bit more of the progress.
Yeah.
These were all kind of just finished models. Right?
Yes, Sarah, that was your finished one.
These are jokes, but they kind of hurt.
You're the
But
straw
I would
house
like to
of
hear
your little
from
pigs.
I would like to hear from the students though, because.
Right.
What did you learn? What was your question?
Yeah, what was the question you asked us?
Well, there are a couple of things. First of all, incorporating that large space into the design, the first time that he's ever done that. So I'm really curious how you guys felt about that. Do you think that really opened up your projects? Or do you think that, what you don't know, you don't know?
And see, the great thing.
Serious question? Or?
No. The great thing in these models about that large
The
space.
thing is, you guys never know what's
That was and that's what was so great about incorporating that large space in this model is I really struggled with the scale and being able to fit these graham crackers in here. So by having that large space, I was able to put Oreos up and down that wall. Without that large space, I couldn't have done that.
Right.
And so it really opened up things that could be shoved into it. Right? Whole new world. There's a space in this model that could
A whole new variety of rich spaces.
variety and richness.
And I think that lets
to
you
this
really
space.
open up a brand new palette within your work.
Yeah, there's large
But
space.
this is still Anja's studio, so excuse me, Anja, but to succeed in Anja's studio, you have to have a wall, a precious wall, and it has to be carefully lit.
Oh my god. That was my whole project. No, I didn't realize that. Everything was about an important wall and it being preciously lit.
That's pretty serious.
No, that's seriously my whole project. No, you guys, that was my whole project.
Everyone's project.
Was
Every project he was like, well, what if you light this wall? What
It
if
was,
you wash it
it was all about key walls that were replaced with new material that were washed
Sharon,
with
where were
light.
you the second week to just give us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you didn't say precious wall because every wall became precious or it was torn down.
No, I'm sure I said that.
Next time.
Changes everything.
We didn't know that early. We needed it halfway through.
Well, maybe what you guys should do, because you're still, only halfway through. You could start like a blog site where you can have secrets unveiled.
Teacher tips that work.
Oh my god. We could tell the people next year. Put a precious wall.
Precious wall.
Period. Just
and
say
as many
the words
pools
precious
as you
wall.
can fit. As many
I'm
pools.
so surprised that, okay, I'm actually being serious now,
Yeah.
but I'm really surprised that
Andre, can you be brought into that?
No, that he hadn't allowed that big space open up for grabs before because he allowed other spaces to be pulled apart. And so it's well, why not just use that space and fill it in with what you need to with a couple new things and then
I didn't know
leave
that.
that
Previously
task.
tell people they weren't allowed to fill in the big
Yeah,
space.
They weren't allowed to touch it.
They weren't allowed to touch the big space.
Yeah.
What's really strange to me is that Anje has a key like that. Maybe I bought into Anje too much.
He has
But
a key like that?
that
The key of the wall?
a trick.
No, but this is part of the discipline.
You have a
This is a part of the discipline.
That you have a
you have
well-washed-
to hold certain things
sacred.
well, steady.
Sacred.
Yeah. Secrets, sacred and steady. Okay, that's 3 S's.
Triple S. Steady.
And I think that's the real secret of Andre is that, he knows exactly what to kind of hold steady and then to
weave
Almost like
everyone
a
against.
constant
Yeah.
in the equation of everything.
So that everyone can be
Yeah.
woven against that.
his dress. The outfits that he wears.
Like the hat,
steady.
the elf hat. Hold that sacred.
He
That's
always-
what makes him serious.
He always wears a jacket, but the jacket can come in a lot of different forms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you can tell in this that, you know, this is something that he picked up on his travels.
To the North Pole.
Romania, that, you know, this careful.
Yeah, the embroidery.
Yes.
It's quite elegant.
This was actually
Yeah.
a web shot from his visit now.
Yes. Live
It's what he's been wearing.
Yeah.
the
He's
past
ready for the
couple days.
conference.
I think it's a little high.
Well, when you gotta adjust and bend for certain customs.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Boy, remind me never to leave early.
Yeah, you'll pay for it.
Yeah. He knows us.
He knows. He knows.
He had to have known when we said Gingerbread Review that this was going to happen.
When all that happened throughout the semester, he had to know that he was either becoming a cat or
Or
something
something
else.
else. He actually did say that for our particular group, the cats were really quite productive and we needed that. You know, I'm not 100% sure what that means.
Mid-breakdown.
We're really glad you guys came.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like-
Yeah.
This has been great. It's been really fun.
Yeah, you guys are just, I've said this before, and it
Ridiculous.
makes me kind of want to choke up a little bit, but you're an amazing studio. You really are.
Are you joking?
Oh, too
Now we gotta have
You guys
Lisa
are
teach
really-
us ones.
But so did you invite the GD ones and only 2 came and then they ran?
No.
Well, we
No.
were told all kinds of
We were-
people.
We didn't actually be that loud about it because we didn't want to be super annoying.
Rude.
Because a
until we
lot
were
of
there.
the G2s all the
GD2s
reviews
have all
tomorrow.
their reviews
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So we didn't want to be
Hence
too much.
renting this room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
to
weren't
get
up
out of
there.
studio and to like
I thought
not
it was so we
be
could.
jerks.
Oh, well, that too. But that didn't
We were
really stop us.
doing that up there
Didn't really
too.
stop us, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're done now? Everything?
Yeah.
We're done on
Well,
Friday.
some of us have some TA work to do.
Okay.
Huh?
Don't complain. I have 3 of my TAs here.
So
Yeah.
how are the DF ones?
The little
Still
ones did
alive.
okay. So, yeah, some of the work was good. Gunter reviewed for me as well as Chris. And some of it was very timid. So, a lot of just like, I'm gonna wrap my arm with something and then connect it on my shoulders. So,
I would almost say some of it was timid and some of it was bad.
My Thursday
From
was
what I
a
heard
like a
from
little
Timmy.
bit of good and a lot of not buying into it. They were just
Yeah.
not really thinking that this was design and architecture. And then Friday was almost everyone bought into it, and there were a
Yeah,
couple
you
that.
had the Friday ones.
The Friday one, I had a couple that were really good. So.
I mean, it really depends on the
Studio, so I don't
students.
have any comparison. Sam reviewed my studio.
From what I reviewed, it was really about the students that like cared.
Can we turn this off yet? Because I'm getting really self-conscious.
No.
There's no more.